Hello, hello. Welcome to Thick Thigh Thursday. So today, continuing my theme of sexual health awareness, I am actually giving you the account of what happened when I decided to go lingerie shopping. So talking about a little bit of my experience, and I want you to drop in. There are also I put in my story yesterday, yes, like I always do, a day before my live, right? So if you want to participate and you want to drop in your questions and your comments ahead of time, and you want them included in the live every Wednesday, make sure you check my story so you can put your questions, your comments, all of that in, and so you can participate. Also, tell people to be here so that they can participate and they can hear the conversations live as well. Um, um, as I said, today we were talking about, I'm continuing my theme for Sexual Health Awareness Month, and I'm going to be discussing the process that I went through when I had to go lingerie shopping. Now, the question I put in my story actually was, when do you feel the most attractive, right? And I got a lot of responses, and I really appreciate like people just saying what they feel. And I know that a part of that, right, in general, is how we look as well as how we feel. Now, I will say this just to start. If you feel bad about yourself, it is so hard to feel sexy. I'm going to say that again. If you feel bad about yourself, it is so hard, practically impossible to feel sexy. It's going to be an off chance. It's going to be this person sparked this in you and whatever. Like it has to really align to bring all the pieces together for you to feel like you're sexy. But if you feel good about yourself, man, it's exactly the opposite. I feel sexy all the time, or I feel sexy most of the time. I feel good. I feel like, I can wear certain things, I can do certain things, and all of that is good for me. Like if you feel good. And I am telling you that as a motivator, right? I'm not telling you that as a discouragement. If you do the things for yourself that'll help you feel better about your body, about how you look and how you move and all those things, you will feel so much better in sexier outfits, more revealing things, or just things that you find like you'll be able to find so much more comfort in your clothes and just being looked at, right? So let's take it to step one. So honestly, a lot of women I know feel this pressure, this fear when it comes to being sexy, right? Like it's we were taught as children, as little girls, to be sugar and spice and everything nice. That doesn't have anything to do with lingerie and high heels. And but at the same time, we see so much like of that's supposed to be what we see, right? We're supposed to be this lady in the streets and this freak in the sheets. How am I ever supposed to learn how to be a freak in the sheets if I'm supposed to be a lady all the damn time and be good? Had to get that off my chest. So so right, if you as you get older, you learn and you experience things, you figure out what you like, and like you get there kind of. Because what if you don't? What if none of that is ever fostered for you? Then it's really hard to try and get to that space, right? Like that's it. It's hard to do if you just never felt like you could be sexy or you should be sexy, right? Like we are taught that being sexy is this thing. Like now you're a Jezebel. You are ruining lives. You clearly want to take other women's men. You want to be a prostitute on the street. No, I just want to find. I want my man to think I'm sexy sometimes, or whoever you with. More power to you. Again, I always only can speak from my perspective. um, right? Like I just want that. I don't care about all of the streets finding me sexy. Like that's whatever. That's fine. I'm not into it, right? But if you don't, put my phone on silent. But if you don't um think about those things, if you don't feel that way, then how can you make this happen? How can you make yourself feel more sexy and feel more comfortable in these sexy places? So again, this is where we turn it inside. If you don't feel sexy by yourself in a room, you can't feel sexy with somebody else in that room with you. That's step one. If you can't feel sexy by yourself for whatever reason, in whatever it is, right? Like, oh, I don't really like myself in these kind of outfits, or jeans always cut me off here, or like tank tops, I feel like my shoulder and my arm fat. And fine, fine. It doesn't have to be that. What is the space for you that you find sexy? Now, I understand and like thinking about like the ways and the spaces that you get into. If you're trying to hook up with this person, right? You get into this room, you go into you want to do it. You you have to take that into account, that you like certain things, right? That you want to like have certain things look this way or cut you this way or hit like this, or you wear it like that, or you wear, maybe you don't wear the heels, or you wear heels that are boots and that makes you feel better. You are allowed to find the space that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like, yes, this is how I feel the most powerful, the most attractive, the most, I don't know, fun, whatever it is that you feel like you're missing. Find that space, um, and allow yourself to really like live in it, right? Experience it. Learn what that place is for your body and for yourself. So as I said, I was going to talk about my lingerie buying experience. So and I recorded some content there. I'm going to make a reel about it. The thing is that, so when I started, right, I started this process. If you're new here, then you're new here. Hi. If you're not new here, you know, I'm a fairly confident woman. I have no problem walking into a space and understanding, like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm looking for. I'm not timid about it. I'm not timid about asking what I need in a space. However, I am also still a mid-size plus size girl, right? So I have difficulty finding things that are flattering for me. My body is so I'll say in general, I'm like between a 12 and a 16, depending on whatever store you go to. So that can be a large or an extra large, right? And I live in New York. I went to Great Acres Mall because it's very close to me. And I was like, yeah, there are a couple stores that I should have some options there. And like, so there were some options and there were some things that I found. And like, there's just so much of it. Like, I feel like certain stores, when they make plus size clothing, plus size lingerie included, it's just so damn boring. Right? Like, that's it. It's just so damn boring. I don't really have any other words for it. It's just boring. Like, this might as well be a t-shirt, like a big long t-shirt. I could have a tank top version of that, and that's what you call lingerie. Like, just no. Just nah, like that ain't it for me. And that's just how it works. Like, that's not it for me. That's not what I feel is what flatters me, what is cute for me, what is sexy for me, right? Like, if I was just gonna sleep in it, then sure, I guess, right? Whatever. I go comfort over fashion all the time. Sorry, I'm not gonna be your fashion icon. I'm okay with that. But as far as like sexy, I want to look good. Like, this is lingerie. It should be revealing. It should be cut to my body or form fitting, at least to me, right? Like, if you like the looser baby doll type of cut, that might be better for you, right? I know things are cut certain ways on purpose to make you, if you feel like your belly takes up a lot of space, those things are cut tight to fit and then loose so that it hangs and it's a little more open. So if you are a person that is like, oh, like I want to do some lingerie, but I want this and I want that, then go for it. If that's what you like, that's what makes you feel sexy and attractive and cute and whatever, then go for it, boo. I support you. Both hands, high five. However, that's not what I was looking for in this moment, right? And I was in the process of going through a couple stores. I went to a plus size store. I went to a regular size store. I went to, like the bigger names, Lane Bryant and where did I go? Victoria's Secret, Macy's, like places that I expected to have like departments and I mean Victoria's Secret, but Macy's and I also today I went to Target and I just happened to notice. I wasn't looking necessarily for that in Target, but I saw, right? And I still so in this process, like I said, I walked in confidently. I wasn't concerned. I said, you know what? I'm going to find something that flatters me. It's going to be cute. It's going to fit. I'm not concerned. And I will say that is a space that not everybody starts in, right? So That is step one, finding the space, which I already said, finding the space where you feel good about your body and about what's happening and in your outfit, the whole ensemble, right? Like feel good about that. That's step one, because if you can't feel sexy by yourself, you can't feel sexy with somebody else in the room if you're nervous. It's just so much more difficult. Um, so in my lack of success, like going to these different stores, that was where I faced frustration. And again, I'm coming from a space of where I'm very comfortable and confident in what I'm about to do. So for me to end up in this space of frustration, clearly there is a problem. There's a problem with the representation, because I was looking at stuff online. I'm like, there's very few plus size models, bigger girls as models for these pictures and things the items I'm seeing online. So that makes it harder for me to visualize, which plus size women have been complaining about my entire damn life. I know it, right? And then there were other things that like I didn't necessarily want to order online, right? Because that's the other thing, leaving you in a space where you have to order online. Louise Green just made a post about this, and she was talking about Old Navy, but this is a general thing. If we as plus size women can't see what it looks like and find stuff that we feel flattered by, and like we have to order it online, now I got to order 10 things and then return stuff and all this crap, and it's like that's not fair to me to have to go through this process, when if I was like 3 sizes smaller, then I could just go into damn near any store and pick up anything and then like come back. Now I also understand that if my body was this much smaller, this would be a different conversation, right? Like I have to understand that, but this is a problem with society, right? A lot of the times we face frustration when we face moments of frustration, it is because we are subject to circumstance and we feel like we can't change it. We can't do anything about it. So this is where, again, my level of frustration got to like, let's say out of 10, I was at like a 6. I wasn't at an 8 or a 9 because I knew that there were options. I knew that I would be able to find something. I just feel like the amount of options that I saw, say I was a small or a medium, versus the amount of options that I saw for myself actually with my real body, frustrating, right? That's where the frustration lies. The circumstances were brought down to here. So now my options are like 3 things. Or right, I will say that I went into a couple places and I saw some things that like I just felt like were really low quality. Now, if I don't care about quality and like the prices were low, don't get me wrong. If I was trying to have a $20 night, I could get it in. So don't think that there's nothing for you. That just wasn't what I was looking for at the time. Like I'm looking for a certain level of quality, a certain level, just the visual, right? I wanted to really be attracted to what I saw. And so in that process, again, I was like, well, what do they have to offer? What is here? What can I get? And there were just like, the quality was very low. The options existed, but again, the options would be far more vast if I was smaller. And here we are back at the it's not fair based on societal standards. Why is it okay for society to be set up like this, stores to be set up like this, that there's an overwhelming abundance and overproduction of these things in this size, and then like so few in this size? Clearly, if there's so few, they're being purchased, right? So why is that not showing in what exists in the store? That is frustrating. Okay. And that's the problem, right? So if you want to get into this space and you're like, okay, well, I want to be sexy and I want to buy this and I want to look this and I want to have that, and you try, now you still have faced a problem where it's like, oh, well, I tried to be sexy and I tried to do this. And it's just not a damn option. And that's not fair. Again, circumstances. So once you get to the space of, I do feel like I can be attractive and I can be sexy and I can be this by myself or in this kind of outfit or whatever, then the hurdle of finding that or looking at for, more outfits like this, or looking for whatever it is that makes you feel like that, right? That is the next step and the next hurdle to take. If you found that and you found something that makes you feel sexy, right? Now, the final hurdle there is, okay, now the person you're doing this for, do they also make you feel sexy? Because let me tell you how. You can have 1 and 2 and 3 will knock you over the head with a baseball bat if it is not received, right? So if you are in a space where somebody that you're doing this for, that you're trying to show whatever, and they are just not receiving you, they're not paying attention to you in that way, they're not giving it back. Two things to evaluate here. One, what space is that person in? Are you coming to this in the right place, in the right mindset, in the right thought process? Are you doing that? Is he or she, that person, doing that on the receiving end? Are they in that space? Because if you are coming at them when they're on 1,000 and they're have a headache and all this other stuff, well, then don't do that. Don't do it to yourself. Don't ask for the rejection, right? So consider that. And then 2, if it's not that, right? If it's like everything is fine, everything should be good. I'm trying to plan this sexy surprise for my bae and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, cool. Never do it again. Put your clothes on, leave. Y'all ever heard about the red Fruit Loop man? He will just, if you know the joke, you know. Anyway, like, and maybe not leave, right? Especially if this is like your actual partner, your husband, somebody long-term relationship. Maybe not leave, but there is a bigger conversation to be had. And let me tell you how it's not about your lingerie, right? And so there we step back to step 1, but on that person. This is about them. That's somebody else. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the roses, for the gifts. I appreciate you so much. I do. Thank you. Right? But so now we step back to step 1 for that person, not for you. Step 1, do I feel sexy by myself? Do I feel sexual in this environment? Do I feel good about the sexual step that we're about to take? Cool. Then yes. But if they're not in that space either, then you got the 2 opposite ends here. That's not going to work, right? And so that's where you don't get to live that out the way you expected to, the way you wanted to, the way you thought this was going to play out. But all of that has to come into play. When I started this process and I said like, all right, well, what can I do to make sure that this is sexy? The biggest thing I can say about that is to feel sexy in it, right? And if you feel sexy in it before anybody else sees it, if you feel like I got to take a picture and send it to my girls, maybe hopefully my boo, whoever, right? Like I need the approval. Sure. That's great. And I'm glad you have that village, boo. Like I'm so proud of you, but you have to feel that way for yourself first. Right. And it's one thing if you're like, I think so, but I would like a seal of approval. Okay, cool. But if you're like, I don't think so at all, somebody needs to tell me this is sexy, then it doesn't matter. You don't feel sexy in it. You don't like it enough. Right. And like, again, that may be a matter of what is available to you, where you are, what kind of store it is, how those things are cut. But it also is where your mindset is. Where are you in this moment? What are you feeling about your body? How do you feel? How do you look? Those things are in your mind, right? Those things are in the way, I guess, of you being able to feel that sexiness all by yourself, even though you are allowed to express your sexy however you want, right? So some of the responses that I got to my question on my IG story, which reminder, every Wednesday, check the story so you can be in the in my live and in the topic in the conversation, right? So one of the responses was that I feel sexy in my oversized t-shirt and panties with my ketchup stain on it. And let me tell you, if you feel sexy in that moment, there's nothing anybody can tell you about you not being sexy. It is so much easier to live life in this space and say, I look damn good. He gonna come in here and get some right now. Like, that's what it is, right? Like, if you live in that space, in your head and in your relationship, then you will feel so good when you actually do dress it up, right? Or like the fact that you don't need to dress it up makes you feel better too. And I feel like that is a great space to live in if that's right for you. If you're the person that says, okay, well, somebody else said, when I actually do my hair and do my makeup and put on nice shoes, and like that's when I feel attractive. That's when I feel sexy because I feel like I did something for myself. I'm here to stunt, right? And like if that's it for you, get it. You are allowed to feel sexy. Like I feel sexier on the street because I'm going out to dinner. When he takes me out, she takes me out, like whatever, I'm dressed. Great. Like take that because you build that energy and that comes back with you to the bedroom, right? Because a lot of times we have this fear that we've built up that doesn't even exist. Like the thing that you're afraid of doesn't exist. Let me say this very clearly to you. And I feel like I've said it in some other live this month because the whole month has been this theme. But let me tell you, if you got to the space in the bedroom with him, it's going to go down. Like maybe if you smell horrendously, which like, please no, I'm not even going to be in there. And I'm still telling you no, shower, wash it up. That's on both sides. Everybody. Just, I don't care if it's 20 of y'all in that room. Everybody should shower. But right, if you get into the room, it's going down. He wants it. He wants you. There's no doubt, no question. I am saying that to you. I don't know him or you. I'm sure of it. There's no man that I know of, especially like one that has expressed interest in you, tried to bring you to the room, right? Like if you threw yourself at him and he didn't want you, that's your business. But if there was something there was a reason, you were coaxed, you were taken out to dinner, you were whatever it is, like you get into the room, he wants you. He wants you. He wants to do it. It's going down. You're in the room. That's it. There is no question about it on my end. And again, I don't know him, right? So pretend I whispered this in your ear because it's true. It doesn't matter. I don't know him and it's still true. He wants it. He wants you. He wants to do it. Why? How do I know this? Because you're in the room, right? We talk about all the time how men are just horn dogs and they just want sex and this, that, and the other. And like, that's again, another societal thing, not today's topic. But if we can say like, yeah, no, I know he wants it all the time. He wants it all the time. He wants it all the time. If he wants it all the time, if y'all telling us that this is the energy, I promise you, once he gets in the room, he wants it. There's no doubt. He wanted it when he sent you the message on Instagram. He wants it. So I don't want you to question that. I don't want you to feel like you have to work so hard to be sexually attractive to this person. They got in the room with you. They want it. They're not stopping because you didn't shave your legs or anywhere else, to be quite honest, especially if you're grown. They're not stopping because they didn't love this particular set of lingerie that you bought. They might like it, to a degree. They might have some, suggestions on what they like too, right? Which is something else to take into consideration. If you're buying this for someone specifically, take into consideration what they like, the colors they like you in, the materials they like you in, the kind of cuts and things that flatter your body, but also that they like you in, if you're buying it for that person. If you're buying it for you, nobody else matters. Buy the lingerie that makes you feel good. And that's it. I want you to understand, so there was one person, I saved this for last, and I really addressed this right in the beginning of everything. If you missed stuff, please go to YouTube. It's up on my YouTube. It'll be up on my YouTube. It's streaming there, and also it'll be there for playbacks and click through, as well as my IGTV. But one person said, I said, when do you feel attractive? And they said, sadly, I don't. And that is where it doesn't matter what you have on. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter who says you're sexy, who says you're attractive, who says you're cute, who says they're attractive. It doesn't matter because you've set yourself up in a place where I don't feel good anyway. I'm not sexy. I don't look good. I'm not. So it does not matter. And that is where, so I'm a confidence coach. I do that. I have these conversations with women all the time. I've had people bring their husbands and their partners into the conversation, or at least given some homework that helps to drive those conversations, right? Because you feel like, I just don't feel good. I don't feel good in my body. I don't feel good in what I wear. I don't feel any of these things. Um, it's, so like you have to learn to find that space for yourself. When did you feel sexy? When was that? When were you able to feel this way? And like understand that you can find your way to today's version of sexy, or next week's version of sexy, or next month's version of sexy, right? If 65-year-olds can still get it on, so can you. That's it. That's it. Right? And it's okay to be in a space where it doesn't feel, thank you, where it doesn't feel good in that moment, and you can still recover. You can still find that space. You can find, and maybe it's a matter of finding it for the first time ever. Because like I said, we were just taught to be so sweet and innocent and blah, 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 blah. But like, again, somehow expected to be like these nasty freaks. I don't know. You are allowed to find that space in your late 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. You are allowed to find that space whenever you actually get there, when it's right for you. It is about yourself, your growth. Look in here. Yes, great point. Mindset is important. Absolutely. And I'm trying to see if there are comments or questions here. I'm not seeing new ones. Thank you. So, right, that is my point here, right? I'm going to bring it home. If you have any other questions or comments, please drop them now. I am coming up on 26 minutes, and I try to keep it to 20. But if you feel good about yourself, you will feel good about yourself if you're doing things that are good for your body. That means moving well, eating well, breathing. Just those are the simplest terms of it. If you don't feel like you are feeling good about your body, try adding in at least some of those things. It will make a difference. If you feel like you're having a hard time finding that space and doing something, then you need help to some degree. And maybe that's me, maybe it's not me. It doesn't have to be me. I would love to have you. But you may need some assistance, and that is okay. We need to learn things from teachers and coaches. That's how it works. That's how life works. And if it's a matter of your partner not making you feel sexy, then you guys need to have a conversation. And that may be facilitated by somebody else, but it needs to be had, because all that's going to do is build resentment and discomfort within your relationship. And I'm speaking from experience. Okay, so please find that space, have the conversation. It is worth it. It is worth it to feel good in your body. It is worth it to feel good in your relationship. It is worth it to feel like you look good. So that is what I have to say. Again, all of this is going up on my YouTube channel. So if you missed something and you need to look back at it, then please do that. It'll be up as soon as I hit the end, because they just be on the move. And if you have topics that you want me to talk about, please you can message me, you can reply to my stories, you can write comments, and then continue this conversation. I always say this, continue the conversation. Understand that, the comments that you leave, they can be helpful for other people. We are a community, the Thick Thigh community. We need each other. I'm here for y'all. Y'all are here for me. Let's chat. Comments. Okay. I gained pandemic weight, and I actually like seeing how my body looks in the mirror now. I just don't know how to dress and style my new size. And I do need help to really enjoy the skin I'm in. And I feel that, right? Like a lot of people, their bodies changed over the pandemic, and they just, it's a matter, especially emerging back into the world. So I would say my first step for you and for anybody else, this is a big task that I do with my clients all the time. Your closet needs cleaning. That's the first step to feeling sexy in your clothes. Get rid of the clothes that are super unflattering, uncomfortable, don't make you feel cute, any of that stuff. Maybe you keep the one pair of cleaning clothes, because I get it. right? You don't want to get bleach on your nice t-shirts and jeans and stuff. Like, nah, don't do that. Hold on to that, but you don't wear that out anyway. That's fine, right? You're not looking in the mirror like, I look terrible in these bleach stained sweats. Leave that alone. But everything else, if you know you put it on and every time you put it on, you hate it, girl, throw it out. Get rid of it. That's it, right? You can, like, I know a whole wardrobe overhaul can be really expensive, so maybe that's not the case, maybe that's not the move, but like the things that you really feel like this is uncomfortable, this is unflattering, I don't like it, I'm not cute in it, whatever, get rid of it. It is holding you back. Let it go. Right? And then when you see what it is that you like and whatever, now you can say, okay, wait, maybe I should buy more things that are cut like this. Or you'd notice styles from other, like I follow a couple fashion influencers, even like plus size fashion influencers, even though like I'm not into fashion. It's just sometimes, you need some inspiration, you need a look, you need an idea of like, okay, so what's out right now, what's cute, what's popular, what's in style, and then like you can say, well, what part of that resonates with me, and what part is like, no, not me. Yeah, I agree. I'm reading comments. Yes, I agree. Stick to staple pieces that are so fashionable can be styled up too. Yes, that is a good one, right? Like I feel like for the rest of my life I'm gonna have like a million plain t-shirts in different colors. Right. And yes, I like that suggestion. Actually getting rid of the old makes room for the new. Absolutely. Right. Make the space. You are allowed to have nice things that fit you well. Right. Like those things are allowed. And it's the same thing with lingerie. Right. If you've got like, and because that was the topic of today, if you're just coming in, I know that seems random for me to just throw out there. But it's the same thing with lingerie. Bras, panties. Listen, the high school panties need to go, sis. Like, I don't care if your ass is the same size. The high school panties need to go. Okay. Seisha said with love. Right? Like, that's it. They need to go. Find the things. Find the things that fit you. Find the things that make you feel good and look good. Right? And like, that is the point here. The things that need to go can go. We can be done with them. And we can use things and have things on that flatter you, make you feel good every time. If you feel good in your bra and panties, it doesn't matter what you put on top of that. I swear, right? And talk to your confident girlfriend and she'll tell you, right? And that's just a piece of how this works. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this has been great, and I love when you guys participate. So please always keep that going. Again, drop your stuff. I need you to continue this conversation in my comments. I'm about to post this in my IGTV. And again, it's on YouTube. Feel free to go back, click through, and comment. Let me know how you feel here. And Sunflower, I need you. I'm about to post this on my IGTV. Post your suggestions. Also, this is the thing, right? So I have a coaching group coming up in January that one of the things that I want to do is find a lingerie connection. For me, ideally, everything comes from a Black-owned, women-owned business, right? Because that's me as well. So I love that. But if you have a business connection, or you want to sponsor some pieces or just a discount or something, feel free to reach out to me. I want to have that conversation with you. The new coaching group, like I said, starts in January. Feeling sexy in your skin is one of the weeks that we have. So let's chat about it. That's what I can say there. Alrighty, my loves. I love you too. I love you greatly. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.